And there they are, coming to us from England. We're really excited to have singer, songwriter, producer, record executive extraordinaire, Marla Mase is here, and singer, songwriter, producer, guitarist, True Groove Records founder and CEO, Tomás Doncker is here as well. And they're coming to us from England. That's right. Hey, gang, welcome to the Jim Master Show. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thanks for having us, Jim.
Yes, thank you so much, Jim. We're glad to be here.
Oh, the pleasure is all mine. And I know you have some really exciting and cool things you're working on. There's new music and so much more, which we'll celebrate. You're also going to share some music with us right here exclusively on our show, coming to us from England, going to perform for us, which is really amazing. How did you guys connect? How did you link up? How did this collaboration and friendship begin for the two of you?
Well, I started writing music, and I started music late, and I was a writer, doing like one-woman shows kind of thing, and and I just started writing songs one year, a ton of them. I was having like a hard time in life, and what I discovered is that singing just made me feel better. So I just started singing just to like get some relief from some anxiety and stuff. It was pretty bad at that moment in my life, and so I started singing, and then I started bringing them into like my acting class and putting them in with like shows I was writing, and then I just started writing a ton of songs, and I was like, oh wow, like I've never wrote songs before, and we even put some up a cappella, which was crazy. And then I was like, I need to find a musician, and a friend of mine's like, I have this friend, you can call him, he's Tomas, and we met, and it was 16 years ago, just 16 years just passed. And it was amazing for me because, I had never done music, and Tomas is like a veteran, world-class musician, been doing this since he's, 12 years old. And, I showed him some of the stuff I was doing, the show and some music, and he was so enthusiastic and exciting, and it was fantastic. And here we are. So obviously it was a good combo.
Absolutely. An amazing combo as well. And in your own right, you guys have these illustrious careers. Marla, for the viewers watching right now, Brooklyn-born writer, performer, producer, singer, songwriter, known for her gutsy, raw performance style and thought-provoking lyrics, a longtime beacon of artistic innovation on the New York City music and theater scenes as well. And her vision is informed and illuminated by her gritty, poetic, and oftentimes humorous take on the human condition. And she has performed for rapturous audiences, for the Bowery to Beijing, and has also had her plays and rock operas performed at legendary venues too, all around the world. And so this is really...
That sounds so good when you say that.
I know. I'm like, wow.
It's very...
Who is that?
And of course, the music too. Marla's work has been featured in taste-making platforms such as HuffPost and Events Magazine, Big Takeover, No Depression, Day Trotter, Pace Magazine, The Deli, American Blues Scene, Pop Dose, Rock NYC, Scandalous Women, Music Crowns, and so much more. And you had a fantastic tour in the UK in the summer, a big festival tour in support of the 9th album, Infinite They Went, on your company, True Groove Records. Tell us about all of that, traveling and performing, and just what an incredible background, Marla.
Oh, thank you. Tomas just went out for a second. He's in here trying to do something. I mean, it's been great. I mean, I'm in as Jim mentioned, I'm in England right now. I'm in the United Kingdom. I'm in Leicester because I'm on tour here right now, doing a couple of gigs. Tomas has been on a longer tour doing, when he fronts his own stuff. And we are here rehearsing at our drummer's studio, English drummer's studio, for a big gig at the 100 Club this weekend in London. So here we are. So that's why you caught us here, which is great. And so we've been in England a lot lately. We've been really this is what he ran out for. I didn't know why he ran out. He's trying to. This is the album. This is the vinyl. I have like 9 albums out, and this was my 9th. And this is my first vinyl, so I'm excited. And so here it is. Infinite They Went. It's kind of like a retrospective of a lot of my stuff that's been out.
Some new stuff as well.
So yeah, so I've been here quite a number of times in the last year, and we're building like a following, and we're doing a lot of stuff in England. We like it here.
Tell us about that album. Congratulations on it being vinyl as well. And there's a close-up shot.
Oh, there it is.
I already have it.
That is really cool, but it's nice when you show it like you did. Yeah. Tell us about the feeling, the vibe, and the meaning of that great album, and congratulations on it.
Thank you. Well, I guess I'll let you start, Tomas, since he's the producer and he's my co-writer too.
Yeah. Well, I'm Infinite They Went. It's a line from one of Marla's songs, "A Piece of Peace." And I actually came up with the title for the album because we were looking for it. The album itself is kind of like a greatest hits with some new things. It's a real. I hazard to say it's a career retrospective, if you will, with a look into the past and as well as the now, as well as the future of Marla's work. And the idea of Infinite They Went. I've always loved that line in the song "Piece of Peace," but I thought, that's what her work is like. That her words, her lyrics, her passion, her commitment to art. It comes from her heart and soul and goes out. She just puts it. That's a great picture. She just puts it out there, and the energy and the love and intensity. It knows no bounds. It just goes forever. And she is truly a white hot flashing light of I mean, I could go on. You think of all the superlatives, you know what I'm saying? It's really, her work is that. And
her authenticity, she's authentic. Yeah, the real deal, right?
There's only one Marla Mase, without question. And that's funny, in the music industry, you would think the exact opposite, but because it is from certain perspectives at certain moments, it is a business, right? And so,
show business, right? Yeah.
Other people in so-called business are always looking for something that goes, well, it's not quite Beyonce enough, or it's not quite Taylor Swift enough, or it's not quite. It's kind of like, why would you ever want that? You've already got a Beyonce. You've already got. I'm using those artists as examples, okay? And now, very excitingly so, I'd say in the last, seriously, 3 or 4 years, there's been an explosion of super original, brilliant female artists in all genres. And Marla is at the forefront of that. She really is. And it's exciting to see the so-called industry, embrace original concepts and presentations by women. We don't have to talk about how women have been, marginalized. I think we all know that. And it's a shame, but now I'm seeing all kinds of different, exciting types of female artists really, really just doing their thing, really, in really exciting, bold ways. And that's what Infinite They Went is all about. I hope I did that okay.
Yes, it was, as he said, it was his idea. I mean, the title. He's like, I know what it'll be called. And I like that. And, and like what he said, the meaning of it. And, for me, I have also additional things that I feel like just, infinite, that we all go in terms of our lives and the people we love. And, I've had some losses. So for me, it's also infinite. They went, and they're all here all the time anyway. And in addition to it, Tomas said, just all of it, creativity, all of it. So, and the album was, it's kind of like I said before, and he said it, a retrospective. Pick the songs, me, him, and James. James is our other partner at True Blue Records, and James Del Tacoma, and we picked the ones that we thought. There was like one real new one, all fall short, which is like a real. It's funny, when I met Tomas, one thing I said is I'm not an activist, because I don't consider myself that at all. I just write. But then, like so many things I write, and it's not like I don't plan on writing things about the world. It's like it just like downloads, like it just comes to me, and then I'm like, oh, I don't even know why I wrote this. Like, I'll literally just sit somewhere and just these words are popping out. So if someone listens, they're going to be like, wow, there's a lot of stuff like that. Or whenever I perform, people, very often I'll come out and people are like, oh, I guess you just wanted us to think.
Yeah.
And sometimes they really mean it in a good way,
Sometimes
like they're happy. And sometimes they're like, oh, I guess you wanted us to think.
I was trying not to think.
And I'm not trying to make anyone do anything, like think or anything. I'm just trying to connect with people, honestly. But so yeah, that album has a lot of that stuff. So I'm proud of it.
What was the source of inspiration for it, and what inspires you to create such incredible music?
Like I said, a lot of it is, not all of it, but there are those things, and I'm sure as you've spoken to so many artists, that it just comes to me out of nowhere. Like I'm just like recently I wrote a new song. It's not on this album. It's going to be on my next album, which is coming out in a few months.
Which is titled
The Midnight Show. The Midnight Show.
Look out for it, folks.
And so I wrote this new song called Nothing to Rush To, but I wasn't planning on writing a song. I was sitting, writing on my computer about whatever, nothing to do with music. And, I just heard this classical piece on the, just I was listening on a, on a playlist. And I just, suddenly these words came to me. And then I just was like, oh, wow. And there was like a feeling about something that I just started, when I get that feeling like, oh, I have to record this. This is actually not bad, and it's not like planned. And then I just put on the voice recorder on the phone, and then I sing it into the phone, and then that's like, so then I eventually, it may be years, it might be a day, tell Tomas, hey, listen, I have this thing that just came to me. So a lot of the stuff, in general, it happens like that. But then sometimes we're just working on an album, and sometimes it's like I have some words written and not quite sure. And Tomas always helps me focus, and he will just create the music. Sometimes, I come with a tune and I have like a pretty solid idea of what it is. And then he always makes it much better. And, much better. And sometimes we've done albums where like, I just get the music, like he'll give me the beats or not beats, the music. So we do it in many different ways, but, the lyrics are not hard for me. Like that's natural for me to just kind of, I can stream of consciousness. I'm not, or things come to me.
What? Marla is this is a tongue-in-cheeky thing for anyone who knows Marla and knows me and knows us. If you don't, you'll figure it out. Marla is an interesting guitar player. Okay, let's put it that way. And she keeps an acoustic guitar in her bedroom in the corner, because sometimes the spirit hits her at whatever hour. 3 in the morning, and she will get up out of bed, grab the guitar, and start. It's conjuring.
Mm-hmm.
It's really quite interesting, and she'll turn on her phone to record it, and she just goes into a
yes.
But the interesting part of it, but the interesting part, Jim, is this, because I always say, like one day, the Midnight Show song. Right. I woke up in the morning and I had a dream. And I was like, oh, and my friend was living with me then. I'm like, oh, I had this dream I never dreamt of a song. And I always say, I grab the guitar, which I don't play. I don't play the guitar. I actually don't play the guitar.
Don't say that, Marla.
She's
an interesting guitarist.
I have like 3 chords. I don't play. And I just grab a guitar and I just start like singing these words. I have no idea why they're coming out of me. They weren't even what I was dreaming about. And the next thing you know, but I've written a lot of songs like that. I think there's something about not really playing that helps me write a song. It's weird.
Yes,
she comes over for my place, and she says, "Hey, take a listen to this thing."
I did 2 years ago.
In the middle of the night. It's just I don't know if it's anything. And Jim, the whole spirit and vibe of the song was so clear to me. Okay, come on in, Les. It's all right. Come on in. Our bass player.
Yes.
Mr. L.A. King has arrived. Wave to the.
The squeak to that door sounds like an instrument being tuned up.
That's yeah. So she plays me this. I wouldn't even call it a demo. It was just like this moment from the middle of the night, and it was just. And I was like, "Oh my God!" And I immediately got it. I just got it. And then, of course, she's trying to backpedal now because she doesn't really play, okay? But I heard it. Whatever she did.
Well, when it's near her and the inspiration's happening.
I've written songs like that. Yeah. I mean, there's one song, my song "A Gun." I mean, for years when I first met him, I had this and then that song is pretty like, that's on Infinite They Went. And like for years I was like, the boy over there, he's playing, whatever, holding a gun. And it was like almost like a joke between us. Cause like when I first met him, I'm like, and then over the years, and then finally when I was doing one of the albums, Miracles All Around, like with putting the gun song in, and like, and then I found like, I just sometimes grab things, and I found like some of those things with the guitar where I don't play, and we found like the whole, like this whole middle, the chorus.
It's amazing.
And so it's not always like that. Sometimes I don't, and like he has to just like tell me what like.
What's.
Sorry, go on.
What's interesting is tying into what Tomas just said about how you can, wake up out of sleep and grab that guitar and just all of these things come, and then you want to make sure you savor it. Melissa Manchester, when she was here on our show, she had said something similar. I asked them, what inspires you to write all this great music over the years? She said, well, I observe life, I soak it all in. And sometimes, Jim, the inspiration really can come from anywhere. I could be, just resting on the couch or in the bed, waking up out of a sleep, and all of a sudden, or walking across the room in my house, and all of a sudden something hits me and I need to run to the piano. And she has a recorder sitting right next to the piano, press record, and whatever is happening on that piano, she's just playing it out, working it out, and just recording it and savoring it. So then she can go back to it, hear what that inspiration was on piano, and then take it and tweak it and move it into another form from there. But when the inspiration comes at any time, even coming out of a sleep, she'll go right quickly to that instrument, the piano, and press record and get it, because it will decipher and weaken as time goes on if she doesn't savor it as it's happening. A lot of people do that. They grab their cell phones and they'll start singing into the cell phone, or start just to savor whatever it is.
It's important. Yeah, that's exactly what I do when I have the inspiration, and then it may, like I said, it could be years, it could be a few months, depends on what's going on. And then, listen back, and I'll go, that was pretty good. I have this whole classical piece that I've been writing. Literally, like that just came to me. I do play the piano.
She's quite an accomplished pianist.
I played when I was young, and I played classical, but I was like young. But anyway, there's a whole that will be coming another time. That's like a classical work. Actually, I'm very excited about it.
That's exciting.
That just came to me too. Sometimes these. I love when that happens. It's when it doesn't happen, and when you just like, oh, I got to write something, and then, and they say, 10% inspiration, 90% perspiration.
That's what it is.
I prefer all the inspiration part. And then, like you said, Melissa Manchester goes and tweaks it and do that. I do that too, but then that's where Tomas comes in.
Yeah,
the great
not to get too
songwriter master
crazy, but it's interesting. I find this interesting. I'll make it quick. There's a technique that is a literary technique. I believe it was first pioneered by the Bloomsbury Group years ago, many years ago. And then William Burroughs and Brian Geisen, legendary William Burroughs. It's called the cut-up technique. And David Bowie also is a disciple of this concept. It's the idea of is taking, like, let's say you have like a page of words, right? And then you take them and you completely scramble them, and you read them back. Well, if it's coming from the same person, let's say Marla, okay, there will be some kind of intention in those words, okay? It's kind of magical. It's built in. I mean, provided that what was written with some kind of initial intention. Once you scramble it, the intention might change or shift. But it's funny how you can't get rid of the force of a group of words. They really have their own life. Once you commit to putting them on paper or on your phone or whatever, right?
The voice of the artist.
Right, yes. Right. They exist in the world. And you can scramble them in whatever way you want, but they still exist. And once you do things like that, then all of a sudden it's not necessarily what the writer originally thought. It becomes something, I mean, it's it can mean different things to different people when they hear it. And some of those things could be what the writer intended. Some of those things could be stuff the writer never even thought of. But generally, they still have intention. And why am I saying this? It's interesting. Working with Marla all these years, she's a brilliant storyteller. You know, she's a playwright, a poet. She's a writer. She writes. When we're doing the songs, when the songs are coming about, her choice of words is always so vibrant, you know, and very much alive. It's almost as if she internally goes through this process as it's just like, boom, nothing comes at you the way you expect it to, you know, but it's very clear. It's very clear. And that being said, I've always been excited because her lyrics make me go, oh. I lean in, oh. And, you know, it's a real honor for me because as a co-conspirator, you know, a producer, whatever I am, songwriting partner, I need to be excited, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we can't be like Jack and Jill went up the hill. Okay, we've already written that one.
Even though my song has Jack and Jill.
Yeah, okay, you know what I'm saying? You know, if Marla did Jack and Jill went up the hill, believe me, it would be different. You know,
it would be fantastic.
I hope that landed because it
did.
You know, it's interesting. It's not. It's very emotional, obviously.
There's a lot of raw emotion involved. I want to let the audience know too that you're looking at a powerhouse duo here of incredible years and blood, sweat, and tears put in music. Tomas himself is a legendary producer, singer, songwriter, guitarist, True Groove Records founder and CEO. He's been a long time a prime mover and innovator of the New York music scene, arts and culture scenes from the early 1980s as a member of the groundbreaking wave and funk bands, and also the Contortions and Defunct, to international touring, recording, and songwriting. And his collaborations have included many luminaries he's worked with, such as Bootsy Collins, Yoko Ono, Madonna, Ivan Neville, Bonnie Raitt, to helming his own band as well. And he's established himself as a cross-genre innovator without peer. And their music is really amazing. He's created this sound of global soul, which is the sound of the collective consciousness, the unified rhythm of heartbeats, creating a positive, spiritually uplifting force for good, musically speaking. It's not genre specific, but in fact, genre inclusive. And it's the best of what we have to offer to each other from Brooklyn and beyond. And that's really cool stuff, Tomas.
Wow, we haven't heard that in a while.
Yeah,
thank you, Jim.
Thank you for the reminder.
Pleasure is all mine. How did you get into the whole thing, Tomas?
Into
CNN. I'm just going to interrupt for 1 second. CNN, there's a piece on him. They said he is the creative global soul. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, Jim, I don't know how old you are, but I'm guessing we might be in the same middle-age group. There used to be a show called Don Kirshner's Rock Concert.
Don Kirshner's Rock Concert, Soul Train, Saturday afternoons on Channel 5 in the morning. Dun, 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 dun.
You're right. That time period. It was Soul Train in the morning, Don Kirshner at night. Okay? And so one night, I was watching Don Kirshner because I was allowed to have control of the television set late on Saturday night. It was my television time. I was 11 years old. And I saw Larry Graham, who, for those of you who don't know, he had just left Sly and the Family Stone. Okay, he's the bass player, the guy with the deep voice. He performed with his band, Graham Central Station. And then in the next section, they had the Spinners, the legendary Spinners, the R&B group, vocal group. And then in the next section, they had a legendary rock band, blues rock band called Foghat. 3 very different groups. And Graham Central Station was the last of the 3, and they came on, And I was already a fan. I already had been buying their 45s as a kid. 45s, the small ones, you know. And they came on, and I almost jumped through the television set. And I literally ran into my parents' bedroom, which was a no-no, as you can imagine, on a set. I just woke my mother up and just said, "You got to come see this." I dragged her into the living room, and I said, "Look at that." She was like, "Well, yeah, that's Larry Graham. It's amazing, yeah." I said, "That's what I want to do." Now, my mother was an accomplished pianist and vocalist. She played a lot of gospel and pop music. Beautiful. She was sort of semi-professional when she was young. She used to perform a lot. Her father, the great Jesse James Bryant, was, amongst many other things, a tenor saxophone player who played with Thelonious Monk and other people. And his brother, my uncle Isaiah, was at one point the top ranked operatic baritone in the state of Pennsylvania. So music is on my mother's side. You know, love my dad, but he was not musical. He was a great dancer, but he loved music, but he couldn't sing. So anyway, it comes from my mother's side. And I said, "This is what I want to do." And she said to me, "Well, you know, that's not easy." And I said, "It doesn't look easy." And she said, "Okay." And so she spoke to my dad. They worked it out. And they got me my first guitar. And I haven't looked back ever since. That was it from that point forward. You know, I just knew. You know, I've always loved music. We always had music in the house. I was a nervous kid. I'm still probably a very nervous adult. You know, but music, as they say, soothes the savage beast, right? And whenever music was around me, I was a lot more stable.
You were more, it was your go-to. There's a shot of you in Big Apple Blues on the screen there. Yep.
Yeah. You know, I don't know if you remember Cousin Bruce Morrow with the
yes
radio.
Sure.
I used to have a radio that I slept with underneath my pillow, you know, every night, listening to cousin Brucey. And you know, he would play The Doors, and then he'd play Stevie Wonder, and then he'd play Al Green, and then he'd play the Beatles, and then, you know, and then he'd play the Stones, and then you know, so I never thought of music as having a genre. It was just music. I never,
right.
You know what I mean? Now everything is so genre specific. It's a bit much, actually. I'd like to see all those barriers come down. I really would. As Louis Armstrong so aptly said, there's only two kinds of music: good and bad. If you can tap your foot to it, then it's good. It's
exactly. Well, you know, I get what you're talking about as far as the music, because for me, you know, I don't smoke, but I say it is my cigarette. It is the go-to for me when I always have to have it on and around. I like when it's on. I like when I hear it when I go into stores. People go into stores, they don't hear it. I'm hearing the music coming out of the PA system. I'm noticing it. We were surrounded by it here as well. And it's always been, even since, and we grew up with it. It was always on in our house through the big wood stereo system with, you know, you pop the lid and there's the turntable and the albums and the AM FM radio and the cassette all in the living room, this monster stereo system. From those days forward, growing up out east on Long Island, my folks have always had music going. Holiday time, music always on as well. Music's such a part of a glue, a train that just keeps things on the track in so many different ways. And and I hear the instruments deeply. I feel the harmonies deeply. And it's not just pass-through stuff for me. It really is. And we talked about, you know, different instruments too. And one of the instruments that stood out for me is the cello, because of the depth and the warmth of the cello. And I interviewed a Juilliard grad who was a cellist, and I said, you know, when I ever hear that cello, it like stops traffic for me. I just feel so connected to that warm, deep, melancholy sound of the cello. And he said, well, it makes sense because it's one of the instruments that is closest in sound to the human voice. So you're feeling the depth and the warmth that melancholy sound of a cello is sort of like is the meaning of life to you and the way it sounds and is going in and being processed, which is cool. So for me, yes, music is always in the car, in the house, wherever we go. And it's a comfort. It's something that to me in the ocean are go-tos. Because no matter what goes on in our world with the craziness and health scares and war and anything else that happens, those things are constants. That in nature, the music and the nature are constants, right?
Yeah, we both love the ocean. I mean, you know,
that's like
just
my
even to sit on the beach and just hear the sound of it, it's like a brain scrub for me. I just love it.
I love the ocean.
Exactly. You plug into nature and it's more power. You know what it is? It's bigger than you too. It's more powerful than you, but it's beautiful. And it has that rhythm, that constant rhythm and that fabulous flow. You know, there's something as well, Tomas, that we just wanted to slip in here. Maybe you want to mention something about this Black Magnolia project.
I usually wear that shirt.
Yeah. It's funny.
That's cool.
When I was talking about, you're right on time here, Jim. When I was talking about the cut-up technique and all that stuff, this album was done specifically like that. One of the great honors of my life is to write songs with the legendary poet, Mr. Yusef Komunyakaa. Pulitzer Prize winner. He's the apex of Black American poets. That's all I can say. If you don't know his work, I would really suggest you go check him out. The word genius gets thrown around a lot. That is a genius. And we have been able to be touched by Yusef. I've worked with him 25 years, right, Marla?
Yeah, so you knew him before I met you.
Yeah. And the Black Magnolia Project was done that way. He had done a collaborative project with an artist whose name I can't remember. She's a wonderful artist. And it was called Night Animals. And it was based, you open a can of worms here. I'll try to get through it quick. It's kind of interesting. It was based on this premise. So we get up in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, you have your coffee, brush your teeth, whatever, take a shower. You go out into the world and you do your job and you interact with the rest of humanity, and then you come home and you have dinner, whatever, and then you get in bed and you rest. You go to sleep. Your body is dormant and you go to sleep, and then you wake up and then you do it again. Okay, so what if what we're doing now by being awake is actually the resting time? And when we are sleeping, our spirits leave our bodies and fly all over the galaxy and, and do incredible things beyond our imagination, right? And then about 10 minutes to 7, the spirit comes back into the body and you get up and you go, okay, what if? Right? Just what if? We don't know, right? We do not know. Maybe that's what really happens, right? It's just, a portal into another perception of existence in the world. So he wrote a series of poems along those lines. And this wonderful artist woman, I wish I could remember her name. So sorry, I can't. She did drawings and small paintings, kind of like in the style of Where the Wild Things Are. What's his name?
Maurice Sendak.
Right, Maurice Sendak. With the little creatures and all that kind of thing. So for each one of her little night animals, Yusef had written a poem telling the story of this particular night creature, right? And so I'm having lunch with him, and he says, "Hey man, I got these poems and this project, but I think there's some music in it. You want to take a look at it?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And so he gives it to me, and I read it, and I'm just, Yusef's work is just awe-inspiring.
That's fantastic.
At the time, the David Bowie exhibit was going around, and I had looked into this thing, which is, I was talking about the cut-up method before. Mm-hmm. Bowie had developed this program. It's now called the Verbicizer, where he put in all of his words, all of his writings into this program and he would hit go, and it would scramble everything he ever written into a lyric. And he would write his songs from that. And so I asked Yusef, hey, Yusef, would you be interested if I took these 14 poems and just scrambled them? And he was like, because Yusef is such a gracious and exciting collaborator, he was like, sure, go ahead, let's see what happens. And sure enough, like I said about intention in the words, once you put them down, they have a life, you know? And we were off and running at that point. You know, the whole process of making that record was really special. Every aspect of it was unlike anything we had ever done before. I believe me, I wish we had filmed it, because it would be a great documentary as to how to not make a record. But there's magic on that record. There's real magic on that record. I'm very proud of that record. So thank you for pulling that up, Jim.
Absolutely.
Yeah. The song Magnolia is a particularly favorite of mine.
Yeah,
it was dedicated to my daughter,
to Marla's daughter, Lael Summer. And it's funny, I didn't know it as I was putting it together, but it was speaking to me. And all of a sudden, I started to sing it, and then I realized what I was singing about, right? Because the words had been scrambled from the original version, and then once I realized what the words were dictating to me, then I could sing it with that. Yeah, all this art stuff gets very, you know, it's tricky, but you got to follow it, right? I mean, that's the our role.
Absolutely. You just released the single, Marla, 8:30, was sort of remastered, and as from the album itself, and that's it's really something special, because it's like a love letter to Fort Greene Park and the summer of 2020. Tell us about that, because it became a sanctuary for you.
Well, it was, you know, obviously it was one of the songs I wrote during, you know, pandemic, 2020. Yeah, I didn't know you mentioned it. I could have done 8:30. Anyway, and going to the park, you know, once I got was going to the park. And so one night, it was actually in the beginning of the summer, I was dropping Tomas off, you know, and just starting to see people again. And I was just like, it was one of those moments where I got the song. I was like, Tomas, I said, oh my God, I got an idea for a song. I just heard the song. And I was like, just in the car with him. I'm like, I heard this song. I'm like, just get out of the car, because I got to like record it now.
She kicked me out of the car.
And I was like, I'm not stalking. I'm just sitting here. And I just like pressed in play, and I just was like, it's 8:30, time to head on home. 8:30, home feels so alone. And then it was just like, I was like, just no idea why those words came to me. And then I was working on it, and then for the next like month or so, I would just like, you know, was working on the song and the idea, and like just seeing, you know, and I was doing like a night, and it wasn't homage to the park. It was definitely going to be like, you know, one of these nights in the park during the you know, when I'm like finally at least around other people. And then eventually I brought it to Tomas, and I was like, hey, you know, here's the song I've been working on. And he really liked it. And he was like, I don't think, because I was doing a whole night, like 8:30, 9:30, 9:40, 10, like doing a night. And he was like, I think 8:30 is enough, because we get the idea. I was like, you're right. He's like, and besides, 8:30 sounds so beautiful coming out of your mouth. And I said, I know, I don't know why. I just know why it was 8:30. And then it was just, you know, and then he decided to have it my tune. It was the same melody, but he put it into the samba. It's kind of like samba beat, and that was so brilliant. And then like pulling some of the words that I had, and then he was like spoken word part, because it's a funny song too. I mean, because it is, you know, a little tongue in cheek about, you know, what was going on during that time. And then after, eventually I realized that the song 8:30, again, I keep talking about my daughter, but she's a very important person. It was like, 8:30 is her birthday. It's August 30th. And you know, and she passed away 7 years ago. So that's why this is always, I keep talking about her. Because it's, you know, her spirit is here. Infinite they went. And then the video was just hilarious. Like when we were doing the cover for the single, my friend Monica about the Maggio, who's also an amazing stylist. She's like my stylist, but don't tell her now. And she was like dressing me for this thing, and she had this idea, and I can't remember the guy's name. It was like Tim something, some very famous photographer who does like ads. And Monica's an amazing visual artist, and she put me in this costume. I was at her house, and if anyone looks it up, you can see 8:30 Marla Mase online. You can see the picture, and as soon as she did it, I was like, oh, this is a character. I get it. So then I wanted to do the music video, and I love the music video. It was directed by William Murray, it was styled by Monica. It's in Fort Greene Park, and it's a great video, and it shows the homage, but it also is pretty funny. There's funny moments in it, and I love that song. And actually, in England, one of my most popular songs here in England is 8:30. They love it here.
Yeah,
it's like people are like, oh, you have to play 8:30.
Request it.
Yeah, it's like, or in general, I think that's one of my top. Like for fans, people love that song. So,
that is amazing. Wow.
And it was like, yeah, it's a fun, beautiful song.
It's incredible. Cool stuff. Yeah, it's amazing too. I was mentioning the album in the beginning, and what's really great about it is this album spans these genres of sort of blending hard-hitting rock with 70s disco, French pop, 90s punk, and grunge-inspired anthems, and it really captures, Marla, your fearless, genre-defying essence, wouldn't you say?
I'm pretty I mean, yes, people love.
We've been accused of genre hopping.
People used to say, Marla, you genre, like although, yes, like I just write what I feel like, makes sense, and I don't go by genre. Although, there will be people who will say I'm more of this type, more of a, because of the look, like rocker, punkish, whatever. But really, it's all of it. I think just my vibe might be that a bit. Obviously, as I'm seeing all the photos that you're
absolutely. And then just wanted to throw in a little bit about.
I'm very Marla Mase. Yeah. People ask me what kind of music I do. I say I do Marla Mase really well.
I love
that's
that.
what I do. Yeah.
And then there's True Groove Records too, which you guys are both a part of, the home of global soul, and it takes a village. There's the team right there, also with James.
Here's back.
James of Tacoma. He's the brains behind the operation.
Exactly.
The brains behind the operation.
Yeah, I'm not even joking. This guy's a sonic Jedi Knight. He's a genius. That's all I can say. The word genius gets thrown around, but this guy, he's an amazing. First of all, he's one of the best human beings ever.
Yes.
One of the finest people one could ever meet. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I think I speak for Marla as well.
Yeah, I mean, Tomas and James produce every song, every record that Rudy's ever put out.
We don't make a move without James.
And he's the master engineer and gunsmith.
And a brilliant musician and artist in his own right. Plays multiple instruments: guitar, bass, trumpet, mellophone, keyboards, drums. Okay, as well as mixing and mastering and just all the electronic stuff.
And touchy-feely.
And he is an artist in his own right. He has a psycho garage project that is ongoing called Touchy Feely, where he plays all the instruments, and it's just so much fun. It's just great. Let me give you an example of one of the titles, a Touchy Feely title, Peanut Butter and Darkness.
I love that.
There you go, folks. Hold on to that.
That is cool.
So we miss him at the moment.
It's the loneliest of foods.
It's the loneliest of foods. Yes, it's great. He's right. That's our guy.
Yeah.
That's cool to think of things like that, right?
He's got a whole truckload of them.
His stuff is amazing.
Yeah, he's amazing. Really.
Exactly. If there's ever any sort of fire, flood, disaster, nuclear, whatever, always stock up on that peanut butter.
Yeah, I would say I am a total peanut
You don't need
butter.
to refrigerate it, right? How many times when there's a snowstorm or something, everybody stocks up on milk. But if your refrigerator and the electric goes out, but peanut butter, it's in the jar, get a spoon and there you go.
I am I don't know about most people, I am a peanut butter addict.
Me too. Oh yeah.
I have to I'm not buying it for this week. And because I love it so much.
Yeah,
you give it up for Lent?
I think so. Not me. Not peanut butter.
Not that one. Something else, but we won't give
I like once again peanut butter. Oh my, yeah.
What would be one thing, Tomas, you would say about Marla and working with her and her contributions to this collaborative effort and her as a person? And then, Marla, I'll ask the same of you about Tomas. Start with you, Tomas.
What was the one thing that what brings to it, or what were you saying?
Yeah, just something about the richness of this friendship and the collaboration and the two of you working so closely together in the way that you do, and something about her that really stands out for you.
Oh, okay. Well, there's so many things, but good question.
That scare you.
Yeah, right. Marla is an artist, and with a capital A. She is fearless. You know, she does not hide behind anything. Okay, she speaks from her experience. Period. Either her strength or her vulnerability, her sadness, her joy, her shame, her anger. She sometimes all that in one song, okay? But she does not go. You know, she's not afraid of any of that. You know, she's not afraid of sharing her truth, which is hard, man. It's very hard. We all want to write a pretty song that everyone's gonna like, right? Not necessarily. That doesn't necessarily make for a great song, you know, or it certainly doesn't make for great art. And it certainly doesn't make for art that lasts. And Infinite They Went, this album, as I said, it's a career retrospective. We were just also, you know, happy to be able to look back and pull all these songs together into one thing. Like, wow, this is Marla Mase, because it's true. Everything is true. There's nothing false. There's nothing pretentious. And I mean, it doesn't mean it doesn't get irreverent and wacky, because that's where she would be at any moment. You know, it might get dark and sad. It might be melancholy, but it's all very, it's a word that's getting used a lot, authentic, okay? But that's, you know, and so I am grateful to be, you know, as I said, co-conspirator in that journey. You know, it's exciting, and the guys in the band feel the same way. You never know what Marla's going to come up with, and we look for that. We look for that, and she will always go all the way necessary to express whatever that thought is. And so, she's fearless. She really is fearless. I mean, I know it's in her bio in the press release, but she really is. You know, I'm grateful. Right, kid?
Wow. Now I don't know what to say.
Well, Marla, what'd you say about Tomas?
Say about Tomas. Well, as you see, Tomas is so brilliant. You know, I don't want to cheerlead, but there's like the most enthusiastic person about art and culture and music. I mean, it's like, it's, you know, it's just all over me. It's just what excites him. And he's constantly, he's super, he works really hard, you know, I mean, he just works so hard, but he really cares. And he's nonstop, and he hates the word prolific, so I'm not going to say it, but he's nonstop. I always joke around with people. If I'm explaining Tomas to someone who doesn't know him, or if they do know him, I'll be like, well, like while we were just having this, you know, lunch, Tomas just wrote a whole album, because he just is so creative and living in it all the time that it's just constantly, you know, popping out new ideas, different genres, different things, working with other people. I mean, he's amazing in his own stuff, and he's here, you know, blowing up England, so to speak, you know, in a good way, you know, because he's just, he's a force of nature. You know, my mother, as my mother used to say, even without even, she'd just be like, when you walk in a room, does everyone think Tomas is a very important person? And I'm like, yes. You know, it's like he is what he looks like just this huge force, genius. Songwriting is incredible. Social justice, really cares about the world, and like, you know, and like bringing positivity. Tomas loves, you know, his songs are always positive. I can't really say that so much always about myself, but his are always just like have a positive, hopeful, even if it's about something, you know, like he has this album Mess We Made, which is all about like the mess we made. And that was written in 2015, and here we are in the mess we made, you know, and racism and just all of it, but in a hopeful way that we can actually bring things together. I mean, he's been my, like, you know, he really got me. He's brilliant at, when he works with other artists, really making it about, because he's about the art. He's not about his ego with the art. Meaning, when he works with me, he's not trying to write a Tomás Doncker song. He's trying to like expand Marla Mase and, you know, let Marla Mase, the artist, you know, live and be as big as I can be. And that works with all the other artists that he's done albums for. You know, he really is an amazing like collaborator like that, because he makes it about them. And I would just say that he's, you know, he's just so many words, you know, and very like, you know, and he can be tough because he values art so much, you know, like he's an encyclopedia about music. He knows everything about music. So does James, by the way. But Tomas is incredible, like, and he's very inspiring. He walks in a room, he teaches a class.
I hope you're enjoying this, Jim. This is very embarrassing.
He walks in a room and he teaches a class.
We're loving it.
I know that, like, Tomas, like, you know, you're experiencing it right now. When he gets into any room and he starts speaking, everyone's like, oh, like, he's just like, wow, you know, he just has that, yeah, he's just incredible. And I've been very fortunate.
Very inspiring and motivational. Yeah.
Music was Tomás Doncker. I mean, how lucky was I?
Oh, my,
you know, I'm like, never did anything. And then it's like, you know, here we are. You know, and he gets me, and yeah, I'm just really grateful, because I feel like, what am I doing, like, with all these amazing, well, just Tomas, amazing musicians and people he's introduced every great opportunity. Tomas has really given me so much any opportunities, and I'm beyond, you know, changed my life meeting him. Yeah. Very much.
And now with that, which is beautiful from both of you, people get a good feel about, you know, the vibe and the collaboration and relationship and all the music that results. Did you guys want to do a little something for our viewers?
Oh, fellas.
So we're going to call the rest of the guys
next door.
This is just
They're waiting.
So you're actually, set the stage for us. You're actually there in England, and you're in rehearsals right now?
Yeah, we're in rehearsing.
Don't play right now. Okay, come on over.
We are in England. We're in Leicester, England.
Let's hear. Marla, you talk to Jim. I'll get the band together.
And basically, we're rehearsing. Tomas has two big. He's been here for a while doing a lot of things. I've done a few gigs, but he has a huge gig at the 100 Club this weekend, March 7th and 8th, which is like a legendary club in London. And it's sold out both nights. Tomas is performing, and I'm going to go up on the 8th and sing just one of my songs, which I'm going to sing now, which is a great opportunity. So we're rehearsing for Tomas's gig at the 100 Club, and also I do one song in it, which I will do that one song here.
Real quick, Jim.
Oh yeah, let's introduce you to this amazing guy.
Drums, Mr.
Yes.
The camera.
Hey, how you
This
doing?
is his place.
Great to meet you.
This is his place.
Home studio. Les, come over here. It's a LA King on the bass guitar. Hey, JR, come put your face over
This
here,
is Jim Masters, by the way.
It's amazing.
Hey, everybody.
You can't see him.
Here.
Jonathan Reed
Jonathan Reed.
over there. Okay. True Group All Stars in the
This
UK.
is our, the True Group, the UK All Stars.
Okay.
Very fortunate.
The Masters of the Midlands.
So, so we'll do 2 songs.
I like the Masters of the Midlands. I like that, especially with my last name.
Name, yeah,
It's like the Masters of the universe, you know.
Right. Exactly. I tell people, you know, when they talk about the college degree, I was already born with my master's.
That's right. You don't have to do it. That's true.
Right.
See how we get. I'm trying to get everyone here. Tomas, I know you're not going to. How do we get everyone? Maybe you can get it, but we still can't see Tomas.
That's okay. They don't need to see me.
We do need to see you. Here he is. Well, we'll do the best we can do. I mean, Well, you'll get to hear it, I guess. I wish you could be. We can't. We didn't really plan that the way. This is just fortuitous that this is happening. You know.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you want me to like tell you what we're singing or just do it. Hello, hello.
Well, you can see my guitar. That's good.
You can see Tomas's guitar.
Yeah, a little backstory would be great. A little backstory would be great, Marla.
Yes. Okay. So, okay. Do you want me to be on the mic, or is that too loud? Now, because I'm much
sounds
like
great.
on a mic is a whole different
Sounds
thing.
great. Yeah.
Okay. So this song, the first song we're doing, which is called, well, it was the first song I wrote during COVID. I've only written like 2 of them during COVID, but like this was the first song I wrote, and it really came out because it's a quick story. So before lockdown started, I had volunteered. A couple of people had volunteered. They are sick. They needed, do something to talk to them. This is before we were setting up. Can you hear me okay? Even with them? Anyway. And I was like, sure, of course. I put my name on the list. And that was that. And then the lockdown started and I was alone. And 2 weeks later, it's like fast forward 2 weeks, I'm like laying on my couch, like in a fetal position, freaked out, like listening to the ambulances all minute long. And I just thought I was dying and I just didn't ever want to leave the house or do anything. I was terrified. I lost like 20 pounds. Like all the things that we all thought we were going to do, like during COVID, like, oh, it'll be great. I'll write every day and I'll write a million songs. I'll read all those books I haven't read. And, Shakespeare wrote, No Pressure, King Lear. And I forgot the second one, during the play. And then, no, I was like immobile, freaked out. And I got a phone call from someone saying, hey, Mr. Jansen needs help to get some groceries. And I was like, what? Are you kidding me? Like, it was a message actually. And I was like, no way. Like, no way am I doing this. Like, I freaked out. I was like, I was embarrassed, but I just ignored it. I was like, delete. I was like, what do they think I am? Like, someone who would volunteer to help someone? I was really freaked out. It's not funny. I felt bad about myself. I mean, I wasn't proud, but it made me really think about like, wow, that's sad. Because when I was little, I used to think about, I'm Jewish, so hey, if I was like in Germany during the Holocaust, would I have saved people? Not just Jews, anyone who needed saving. And when you're 12, you're like, hell yeah, of course. Now we get older, and I'm like, I don't know, like, and here I am, like, I won't even go out to a grocery store to help someone. So I went out one day, like, and I sat on the sidewalk, made sure it was the only place I felt safe to sit. The beginning, I was nuts. A lot of us were nuts, because we didn't know yet. It was even before masks were mandated. Anyway, and I sat down on the sidewalk. I saw that no one spit there, it's the safest place, and I started this song, and this is it. This is the song I wrote. I wish I was a superhero, ready to be the first one to enter the hall. But I ain't no warrior princess, ain't no Joan of Arc, not at all. I'm just a simple woman, and I do my part. Not really a living, breathing oxymoron with a beating heart. I wish I was a superhero, ready to be the first one to enter the hall.
Really cool. That was fantastic, gang. Really fantastic. Such a great
Pissing, I can say
sound.
to you, Jim, but in England, I don't know if you know this,
Can't say
pissing is like the worst curse in the world in England.
Yeah.
Like literally, I couldn't have it on the title. Like it's like us saying, I'm not going to say it, the
Yeah.
C word. Like for them, they say the C word is no big deal, and for them, pissing, like I have to like apologize. Like it's really like. So anyway, but that's on that album, the fine art of pissing in the bushes. Yeah. Anyway, so then we're gonna do.
Can we do one more, Jim?
One more.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Is
You guys sound
cover.
great.
Is
Yeah.
that okay? It's coming through the computer.
Yeah.
Okay? Cool?
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So this is a cover of I mean I don't usually ever announce this song, but it's a cover of a Lou Reed. It's a Lou Reed song, and you'll hear it and you'll see. So yeah, and I'm doing this on Saturday night.
We good?
All right, let's go. Satellites gone up to the skies. Things like that drive me out of my mind. Watching on TV. Satellite alert. Satellite alert. Satellite alert. Satellite alert. Satellites gone way up to Mars. Soon they'll be filled with parking cars. I'm watching for a little while. I love to watch things on TV. Satellite alert. Satellite alert. Satellite alert. Satellite alert. I've been told that you've been bold with Harry, Mark, and John. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Harry, Mark, and John. Satellites gone up to the skies. It's like I drive me out of my mind. I watch it for a little while. I love to watch things on TV. Satellite alert. Satellite alert. Satellite, satellite. Satellite alert. Satellite, satellite. Satellite alert. Big love, everybody.
Really nice. What a nice sound. That's awesome. That's really fantastic.
Thank you.
Great
And
version of that, huh?
Tomas here.
Thank you.
Behind the video.
Yeah, Jim.
It takes a village, right? It takes a village.
That's right. It does.
Hell yeah.
You guys all love playing together.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Well, maybe not John.
Who's the troublemaker in the crowd?
John.
Tomas.
No, these guys are wonderful. They're all
They are.
wonderful guys.
It's a I could.
The team effort, man.
It is a team effort. How did you guys all come together, Tomas? How did this
You know what, Jim?
assembly?
We have to have a whole nother show for that. But let's
Just
basically
quickly.
say this gentleman here, Mr. Jonathan Reed, these guys are all legends. Okay, and I'm not just saying that. These are some of the finest musicians in the UK. Period. They're all associated with, well, many of the legendary groups. One in particular, the Specials, the legendary ska group. They're all part of the Specials family. And they invited us in. That's all I can say. From across the Atlantic. Believe me, it's a very interesting story. Perhaps another time when you have us on, we'll tell you about it.
Quickly, Tomas did
You
a
know.
cover of the Specials' "Doesn't Make It All Right" during lockdown, and because everyone was watching, it was on his bucket list to do a cover of that song.
Yeah.
And because everyone was home, people saw it.
Yeah, they saw
And
it, they heard it.
Jonathan saw it, and other Specials saw it. They're all in the Special, and they loved it. They thought it was like an amazing cover.
And that's kind of how it started.
And that's how it started.
And we went from there, and here we are. We just showed
On
up at
the
the
Jim
doorstep and
Master
said, "Hey,
Show.
we're
How
here."
cool is that, right?
Yeah, pretty
For
cool.
Levity Rules.
Yeah,
That is awesome. So you guys, are you performing tonight there?
no, we're just rehearsing tonight. We're
Yeah.
performing on Friday and Saturday at the legendary 100 Club in London on Oxford Street. Marla will be joining us on Saturday night, and we're opening up for another legendary group, Killer Star, which is fronted by Mr. Rob Fleming and Mr. James Sedge on drums, and features it's an all-star band. Features like 7 members of David Bowie's previous bands. So it's a legendary opportunity to perform with these guys who we've all grown up listening to, and it's their project, and so we'll be opening the show for them. So it's gonna be fun.
You know, you mentioned Foghat. Nick Jameson from Foghat, it reminded me, was a guest on our show as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in a past episode. Great guy. And
Yeah.
he's done a lot of voiceover work too for animation and things. He lives in Iceland.
Really?
That's where he
Oh,
is.
cool.
He makes his home in Iceland. Yeah. And you mentioned David Bowie. Ava Cherry was here as well as a guest.
Oh, Ava! Oh, wow, Ava Cherry.
She's
Wow.
amazing. Yeah.
Young Americans, all that. Ava Cherry and Luther Vandross.
Yeah. We had Anita Pointer and Ruth Pointer together with us just before Anita passed. She was one. They were wonderful. Freda Payne has been here.
Oh.
Florence LaRue.
Wow.
Lot
We're
of
honored to
great-
be in
Yes, we are.
such heady company, Jim.
lot
Thank
of
you.
wonderful people. Yeah. And then now you guys here on the show, which is really amazing. This is exciting stuff. And congratulations on all of the music and the new music too, the new album, the songs and everything that you guys are doing at True Groove. It's really inspiring and it gets us thinking.
Yeah.
And of course, there's the newest there, folks,
There it
for
is.
everybody.
It went.
Don't forget, you heard the story about the Black Magnolia Project too, which is really amazing. And yeah, True Groove, the home of global soul, right here on the Jim Masters Show. This was awesome, gang. I didn't want to take too much of your time because I know you're busy, getting things ready. And we've been showing the websites too, Marla's website and Tomas's website, places you can go to learn more. But what are some of I'll ask each of you, what are some of those blessings and joys in your life that keep you doing what you do, that you love for the good of all of us?
Quite simply, if I may speak for people for a moment.
They can speak too.
They can speak. I'll just do it. Music is the healing force of the world. It's just that simple. Perhaps the last frontier of freedom of speech and freedom of thought. We choose to reside there. That's where I'm at with it.
How about you, Marla?
John, say something important.
Yeah.
Listen.
There is hope.
Say it again.
Where there is music, there is hope.
There's music. Les?
Well, this collaboration just shows you what music can do from across the Atlantic. To you just been in music. Yeah, I love it.
All right.
Yeah.
Ed?
I'm just going to second what everybody has said. It's just fantastic to be part of this amazing collaboration of worlds, should I say.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And I'll just end with, I just love blessing to be connecting with people. I always say this, you know, connecting with people in a room, like in person or over this, and that we're, you know, communicating and connecting and sharing our hearts. And that's, what else is there, you know?
Exactly right. Absolutely. Yeah. You guys are the best, truly doing incredible work that really goes deep, and music that impacts us and makes us, really touches our heart and soul, gets us moving, gets us thinking, gets us coming together, which we need as much of, and filled with, like I said, the word we use here on the show, levity, love and levity, putting it all together, which is so important. So, cool stuff, gang. Good to meet the rest of the guys. You got to love listening to a British accent, right? It just all of a sudden steps up the room. I don't know what it is. Yeah. So for me, they would call me James Masters. James Masters. I'm the fifth James, and it goes back to Yorkshire. They hail from Yorkshire. Yeah. The English Irish side, right? Well, we had a bloody good time. It was brilliant.
It's worse than Thomas's.
You don't want me to feel my Brit speak. They're gonna start throwing stuff at me. I can't even go into it.
See, but here they maybe like our New York accent or the New York accent, so it's like better.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, the Brooklyn sound, right? Yeah, but you know where to find all the good pizza.
right.
Good stuff. Congratulations, gang, and thanks so much for stopping by the Jim Masters show. Like I say to all the guests, we're going to keep the porch light on for you. You're welcome back anytime. If you want to stop by to say hi, or you've got new music to share or anything. It's got a new home here with all of us, and we really appreciate, on a busy day. I know it's the evening there for you in England. Thanks for stopping by the show, and spread the word about our show if you know other folks who like to pop on. And really appreciate the generosity of time, the great conversation, and then treating us with the fantastic music as well. You guys are class acts through and through, and just an honor to have all of you here, and lots of years of powerhouse, entertainment and skill and musicality that we're looking at here in the room. It's really a force of nature. So come see us again, and blessings to all of you. And thanks for joining us on the Jim Masters show.
Be well. Thank you so much.
All right. Peace.
Bye.
Take care, gang. Congratulations on everything. We'll see you soon.
All right.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Coming to us from Leicester, England. How cool was that, gang? Let me show you that album again. Really something very special, and it's hot off the presses. Infinite. They got some really good backstory about the music and the songs. And of course, our two special guests joining us here, Marla Mase and Tomás Doncker, both very, very big in the music industry. And Tomas has worked, like I said, with so many people, Yoko Ono and Madonna and Patti Smith, and on and on and on. And Marla is a force of nature. She's been doing this for a long time. And the musicians surrounding them there in England all have independent, very strong careers in music. And they've worked with some of the legends and some of the greats as well. So to have all of them together on our show was a real surprise treat. Great conversation, great music, and great entertainment here on the show. We thank both of them for joining us on the Jim Masters show. It's always a great pleasure to have terrific people who love what they do and are very passionate about what they do. We thank Marla and we thank Tomas for being with us here on the show, coming to us from England. Yeah, we're here in the New York area in the United States, but they were there in England. And again, there are their respective websites as well. Check all the material out there. And of course, coming to us from True Groove Records, the home of that global soul, that fantastic sound. Cool stuff, gang. We hope you enjoyed it. If this is your first time here, come see us again on the Jim Masters show. And also don't forget to give this episode a thumbs up like. If you enjoyed the conversation, the music, the fun, and everything that we did, be sure and give us a thumbs up like. We love that. We love your likes. And share this on your social media. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV, and also leave a comment for us as well, right below, right underneath this episode, there's a place there for comments, and we would love that. Marla and Tomas joining us here from England. They're both originally from New York, and really amazing. Marla from Brooklyn as well, and cool stuff. You can follow us on all of the socials on Instagram, Facebook, and X at Jim Masters TV. Hope you enjoyed the show. Let us know. Drop a comment below. Thumbs up, like, and also share and subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'm going to keep the porch light on for you as well. I'm your host, Jim Masters, thanking you for your time this time. Till next time, we welcome you to come back and see us again. Don't forget to check out the archive. If you want to see the episodes with Melissa Manchester and the Pointer Sisters and Florence LaRue, Fifth Dimension, Freda Payne, great song Band of Gold, Nick Jameson from Foghat. All of these are archived, and hundreds more on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. So peruse, have a binge party, and enjoy seeing these incredible celebrity friends and special guests who stop by our Entertainment Lifestyle Celebrity Talk Show series. We thank them, and we thank you for being with us. Come see us again. Don't forget to love one another, take care of one another, and don't forget to do the very same for yourself. It's always important to do that. We'll be right here waiting for you on the Jim Masters Show in Liberty Hall for the next episode. Come see us again. You be well, and cheers.